everyone, this is your OG Original Gamer, and this is another Godforge video. Today we're doing a quick reaction to Simon's video released earlier today. It covers a champ that disrupts the speed meta, prizes for the Alpha Tower, or should we say Cavern? You're gonna want to stick around until the end. This is going to be quick but impactful. So without wasting another moment, let's optimize.
Hey guys, this is Simon from Fateless. Today we're going to be looking at some of the rewards you can get from the Alpha Tower.
Alright, so if you noticed, Hell Hades changed his avatar from King Arthur to the Green Knight, but he is still only at level 8. If you were wondering, Saf got Zeus, so that's a thing. Anvil of Creation looks to be the new name. We didn't really know what this, we speculated Anvil, but we couldn't really tell. But Anvil of Creation, so there's some changes we see there. But Simon's talking about the daily deep dive sessions that the team is going through on each screen of the game, like high refinement phase for them. And so we won't go too much into that, but there is one early leak here that is notable. So right here, we stop and we see Quetzalcoatl, who is a legendary from the Omayakan faction, the Star of Dawn. Looks amazing. Great. Simon mentions it as a dragon character that they were working on creating the animations and fitting it all into the screen. But we do get to see the stats here, and we had never seen these before. And you see the speed of 102 is the tied for the second highest with Aphrodite from the Olympus faction now. So definitely a disruption to the speed meta, but also a high initiative of 94 and good defense and good resistance. Seems like a tanky sort of team leader, team booster. So that is a very interesting and noteworthy piece. Then we talk about, we'll probably jump ahead here. Yeah, he shows Zulong as well, still not animated in the same way, still long and sort of pencil-like, he said, or something like that. But going forward, oh, so this was right here is where we get to how to rank up your champions, promote them. And this is really interesting. We hadn't really seen him do this, but you can take your champion all the way up to 6 stars, which means, you know, raising their level 1 to 60 and promoting them at each 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6. And so you can do that right away if you have the chickens. If you have the, looks like 3-star chickens there, that may be placeholders, but that would get this character to a 4-star, and you can take any champion really in your arsenal to do this, but it will give you a warning before you do it if you're putting in a legendary. Now you see down here, you see the blue ether essence. There's a red number there, 442,380. That looks to be the amount of blue ether essence you would need to actually do this as well. And then in addition to needing that blue ether essence to do it, you'd also need 53,500 coin to do it, to promote it. So you'd have to have the 3 chicken champions and the blue ether essence and the coin. And if you had all those in the right proportions, I imagine this number is red because we don't, the 0 up here. So it's in the red. If this number was in the green or in the black, if you were accounting numbers and you had enough of it, and you had enough coin to do it, then and enough champions in here, then you could promote your champion up to 60 right off the bat. But as you see here, only HP, only defense, only attack are the the stats that get impacted. So that's important to note as we saw in previous videos, that these three stats were slightly elevated on certain champions. So probably Simon had them at like level 60 for their testing. But it's important for us to understand this if we want to know like what to prioritize. And it looks like when we're upping a champion's level, we're doing it because they don't have enough HP or enough defense or attack, whacking power to do the job. Where things like increasing initiative or increasing initial divinity, we've seen tied to dupes or awakening or having more than one copy of a character. So that will be necessary as it is in most games in the genre. So we learn and see some more about this as you see the stars go up as you shift over the requirements, just as it would in like per se Raid Shadow Legends. To go to 2 requires a 1 star to feed to it, but it's gonna, as he said, give you a warning if you're putting in a legendary like Horus to, obviously he doesn't have the blue ether or the coin to do it, but if he did and he hit promote, he wants it to give you a little warning, like maybe you shouldn't do that. It's probably not the best for your account. Okay, so then he moves forward. Okay, he talks about Guan Yu and the sparkle in his eyes. And how they're working on things like that. Now, I thought I was the only one seeing this. I thought we were like soulmates or something, but he's saying now it's a systemic problem, so I feel bad. But Guan Yu, you always will have sparkle in my eyes. But they're just talking about cleaning up some of these aspects to the visuals. Dracula got added his idol breaker. I like it. Kind of cool. Puts the sword up. Very sort of knight-like. Which is interesting because he's a chaos order, so like he's being very orderly and but rigid, but also chaotic. He brings chaos, so very interesting. We'll see how this all works. You can see right there real quick, the Ether Stone had a slight revision to its look from the last time we saw it. Still 3 Ether Stones as the reward for beating the whole normal level 10 levels times 3 stars for Olympus. So just a quick grab there, but that changed as well. We just saw that. All right, so then we've seen this. This is Virage. Well, we haven't seen Virage, but it looks really cool. But we have seen a lot of these campaign factions. Or faction campaign areas, really looking cool. Of course, this is going to be huge when it gets into the global launch, but we won't be seeing this in the Alpha Cavern or Tower. But Simon says, if you are the person who is first in our cavern experience. So I'm calling it now. I think we are going down. I don't think we're going up in a tower. I think we're going down in a cavern. And he mentions that. So he says, if you push yourself, these are some of the prizes that we want to give for people who push themselves in the Alpha Cavern, not Tower. And he says they're on the fence about certain things they want to give as rewards. How much of an advantage or disadvantage, or how much of an advantage does it give you at the start of the global launch? So this is cool. We had not seen this screen before. This is the summoning screen. So you see mortal stones, ancestral stones, eternal stones, and then guaranteed exclusive champions. 5 days left to, looks like maybe Hercules. You can get him as a guaranteed exclusive. I'm sure that's a placeholder, but shows that they're committed to providing guaranteed exclusive champions that you can grind and get and build your account slow over time. This is interesting. Up in the upper right corner, it'll show your chances for legendary, epic, or rare, and non-eternal heroes. So that must be uncommon and commons. We'll see. Not really sure. And then details and special offers. But we hadn't seen this in summoning ×1, and I'm sure you can summon by 10, maybe 5. Maybe they've given you some other options. We won't know until closer to the end of the year, but this is a really neat screen that we had not seen yet. All right. And now we'll jump ahead a little bit to when Simon's talking about Squidmar. And so one of the rewards, okay, so basically, I'm going to stop here. But so there's all kinds of rewards that they're talking about giving you: skins, portrait frames, borders, maybe achievement medals, all kinds of different stuff. Now, I'm going to give you OG's take. I don't want anything from the alpha testing that gives me an advantage on day one at the global launch. That's me. I don't want any reason for someone to say, well, the only reason you got to where you are is because, you got that boost at the beginning. So I don't want anything. I want to start at 0 on the global launch. I want it to be a level playing field. I don't want to have one single shard extra for doing the alpha tower. That's me. But I know I understand why people want juicy goody things. Now, I think there's other ways to scratch that itch and to give them that, but I think the alpha prize should be one, all these skins, portrait frames, borders, achievement medals, things you can only get if you participated. That's awesome. I think that's perfect. But Fateless even goes one step further, right? So it talks about Squidmar, this company they're working with, and they create miniature like dioramas, and they are going to create a miniature, and this is where he says, instead of tower, he says cavern. And the cavern is going to have the winning team, like the team that beats the tower or the cavern, the 150 levels, and the boss at the end that has the highest damage. This diorama is going to feature that team and the characters and the build they used and like be immortalized for all time. And so that is super cool. And then like the top 1,000 teams on the pursuit of that, maybe not the top team, but the next top 1,000 teams will all be engraved on this diorama and will be immortalized, will be kept at Verko's vault, which, and we'll get into that. Now, one thing I want to offer, another kind of goodie that you could give away. What if the top team or, is built into the lore of the game in some way? That could be another way to give a really cool feature or benefit that doesn't give any advantage to the player on day one. But that sounds really cool. You got this awesome diorama and it shows the cavern that you fought through, and then here it's held at Verko's vault. Verko's vault is run by Gary. Gary's the lead investor for Fateless, and so in Vegas, this is the largest, going to be the world's largest miniature display. So there's going to be all these miniature things, and so our diorama will be there from the Alpha Cavern, and the top 1,000 players will be all engraved and immortalized on it. And it will be a really cool way to just kind of mark that and have it for all times. In addition, because that's not enough, Simon says they're thinking about probably flying out like the top 5 to Vegas when this opens and everything like that, which is amazing. Like, wow, cool, okay. So for me, that's enough. Like, if you want more, I think you need to remember this is testing phase. Like, it's designed to help the game for when it actually comes out, but that doesn't mean it's all work and no fun. It will be fun, but we're getting the experience that they're creating also as return on our work here too. So it's not like, I don't know. I think we shouldn't want too much of an advantage. Hopefully that is what the community feels. Maybe I'm way off. Let me know. But we will wrap it up because we're just keeping it as a speed recap. So thanks for stopping by and listening in. Drop a comment if you have something to say. And like and subscribe so that as we get closer to this Alpha Cavern testing pit in July, you don't miss anything. All right? Take care of yourself. And remember, play smarter.